24/7, 365. The fantasy season never dies. Welcome to Every Day is Draft Day. Presented by Champions Round.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the latest edition of Every Day is Draft Day. I am your host, Dan Turner. Joining me, as always, Steph Smalls. What's up, Steph?
Not much. Dealing with a little bout of food poisoning here, which is obviously very fun. So that's why I probably look so pale right now. But it's okay. It's draft week. We're drinking water, and we're going to get through it.
Yes. I thought you just looked at that because you were thinking about how the Giants were going to draft. But
yes.
That makes some sense.
And that might be why I'm puking. Maybe it's not food.
So today on the show, we're going to be doing some hot takes. Basically, they're just everyone knows what a hot take is. You just say
I thought you said hot cake.
Hot cake. Yeah, we're going to be cooking hot cakes too. Hot takes. So we're just going to say a couple hot takes and respond to how ridiculous the other one sounds. So basically, what we usually do with each other, just in a more official capacity.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm going to start off. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is one I like, and I hope Jason is watching this one. I think that Calvin Austin III is going to have a better career than Sky Moore.
Wow. Where do you think Calvin Austin's going to end up going? What round?
I think in an article I actually wrote today that'll be out later this week, I think Calvin Austin's one of the most underrated guys going into this draft. We both saw him at the Senior Bowl. He was uncoverable. No one could keep up with this guy, and I feel like he hasn't been talked about whatsoever after that point. Everyone's talking about, for good reason, the first-round receivers, but I really think that Calvin's going to be one of the top receivers in this draft. I know there's a problem with like his size, and he's really short and tiny and stuff, but if you can't jam him and you can't catch him, then I don't really see a problem with it. So I really think that he's going to be drafted at probably in like the second, third round, and he's going to give a lot more value than wherever Sky Moore is going to be drafted. Yeah,
for sure. And I think I was talking about this today with someone who's like, this is a weird class where, there's kind of like these top guys for every position. And then there's like a weird drop off. And then like after the drop off, there's also in that lower level, a bunch of guys that could very easily have a very high ceiling. It's not as, a guy like Calvin Austin, it can absolutely come in and be a playmaker. And that's going to be a team if they decide, they wait until that later round to get him because everyone's passing on him because of his size, the Bo Meltons of the world. There's going to be some guys that go later. One of the guys that you and I both liked, I was thinking about this yesterday, was watching him again. Trey Turner, another name that we have not talked about. You're not hearing anything about him. Velez Jones, not really hearing much about him either. So there's going to be these wide receivers that end up going later on that we see making an impact.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Like you said, there were a bunch of guys that we saw at the Senior Bowl, even guys that aren't seniors. And it's such a deep receiver class, and everyone's talking about, all these receivers in the first round. And I think, the Jameson Williams and Drake Londons and the like will go in the first round. But after the first round, I think it's even deeper. I mean, there's going to be guys that are going to be taken in the third, fourth, fifth rounds that are going to outplay some of the guys that are taken above them. So I really just can't wait to see like where they're drafted and where they're going.
Yeah, especially even with, and we said this a bunch of times, it's like this is a very deep defensive class. It's a fairly deep line class too. There's going to be this, guys are going to fall. And I saw someone talking about this the other day, how you shouldn't take running backs that are going to get drafted round 3 and 4 of the NFL draft in your fantasy rookie drafts. And I actually think that's crap. Like, I actually think that some of these guys are going to end up falling just because of the nature of this draft and the nature of the way these rookies are going to fall given the positions that are stronger. Is Breece Hall, could he go in the first round? I think he could go to the Bills there at 26. And then you have Kenneth Walker, and then you kind of get this drop off again that we've been talking about. But then we have guys like the Damian Pierces, that the Hassan Haskins, guys that are going to go probably much later on, that don't have these flashy names. But I think that they're still going to make an impact on the field. And I think that they can do that immediately. Like the Damian Pierces and the James Cooks, I think they could start tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. All right. So what's your first?
Okay. I don't know how hot. I don't know if this is hot takey, but I
It's the
really
first
like
one. We're
this.
just warming up. We're warming up to the second one.
Yeah, I really think that Cincinnati is going to draft Trey McBride at 31. Their tight ends are Hayden Hurst, Drew Sample, who's the other one? Mitchell Wilcox or something over there. They kind of, established their line to an extent. I know everyone wants to talk about the trenches, but they made some moves this offseason, and I think they're in a good place where they can go and add depth, and that's a position that they're really lacking, and I think it would just make their roster so well-rounded. You get a stud and a generational guy that's going to be with you and grow with Burrow, and I think it's perfect. I think they're also in a good spot there where or not, I guess, for them, where they probably could have waited is there's some teams that follow after that are going to be looking for a tight end. We talked about this a couple of times. There's quite a few teams that are pretty tight end needy this year. So I see them taking a tight end there.
You don't think that them signing Hurst, you think that Hurst isn't enough of an upgrade to warrant drafting McBride in the first round?
Yes. Yes. Hayden Hurst has not. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. I'm trying to be nice right now. I'm not going to be mean about Hayden Hurst. We love Hayden Hurst, but Hayden Hurst is not the impactful tight end that this team needs if they want to be a force to be reckoned with again next year.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty hot take. I like that. All right. So my second and final hot take will be a little spicier. I think my Senior Bowl crush, Dameon Pierce, will be a top 2 running back from this class.
That's a good one. Listen, you know how I feel about him. Another guy that I was talking about, and this is why you can't just always look at college production. It's obviously very important, but you have guys like that are underutilized. They're not on a team that they're getting the opportunity to produce, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to get to the next level and crush it. And there's quite a few guys in this class. I think COVID also contributed to a lot of that. But I like that. I don't know if that's super hot takey. Is it?
I think so. I think everyone's so enamored with Hall and Walker and even Spiller that Pierce is just like, yeah, he's good, but like, will he hold up? And his lack of production at Florida holds him back. I think I haven't seen anywhere personally where he's even in like the top 5. So to have him at top 2, I think that means you would have to beat out one of either Walker or Spiller if you have Hall as the number 1. Mm-hmm. So I think that's pretty hot taking.
Where do you think the first running back goes off the board?
I think that the second round, top of the second round.
You do? Really?
Yeah. I don't think that this whole like the Bills are going to take Hall is I hate it. Like they have so many other like more pressing needs than to take Breece Hall when they have David Singletary who was okay, and there's enough running backs that are the draft is deep enough at running back where you can take one in rounds 2 or even 3 and get just as much production that you would have gotten out of Hall. I would rather them take like a corner or someone on defense that they need than Breece Hall. I think that's just a waste of resources based on how their team is assembled right now.
Yeah. That's interesting. Because then this is what I mean. Like, if you think that the first one's going to go in the second round, now we're talking about all those other running backs are going to keep getting pushed back. So, again, like, even for fantasy, like, there is going to end up being relevant guys that go in round 3. Like, it's just going to happen because it's the nature of the beast of this draft and the way it's going to roll out, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ready for this one?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I think trade tables are up.
Which is probably a smokescreen from the GM over there. I think the Steelers are going to do it. I think they're going to trade up and they're going to get Malik Willis. I really think so. I think it's going to happen. I think that it's going to take one team to either, like, whether it's Carolina that decides that they're going to trade back and try to get a pick, whatever, there's going to be one domino that falls. And I think that the Steelers are just going to go and get their guy. I think they're in a position to do that. They're not a team that's going to blow up, the entire roster next year and then tank and go. They're not that type of team. Like they don't rebuild. And I think, yes, Mitch Trubisky is a great backup quarterback, but he is not a long-term solution. But I think you also, if you trade up and you invest in a Malik, you can then have him sit and learn, because at the end of the day, Trubisky has had some level of success in the league, and he gets to sit behind a vet and develop. And the longer you have him on your roster, the better off you are for years to come.
Yeah. I like that a lot, actually. I think that they would be, it'd be a perfect place for him. Everyone wants the Steelers in him. I don't think he's lasting to 20 if the Steelers stay put. I really don't. But to trade up like that high to go up to 6, like you said with Carolina, it'll take a couple of, it'll take a substantial draft capital, but maybe not as much as we think because everyone wants to trade down and no one's really going to trade up. But that'd definitely be, a franchise-defining move to go up all the way up there to get Willis, and they can have him sit, behind Trubisky for a while if he's not ready, and then have him come out when he is. So that is a situation where, if he needs to sit and learn, they could do that, and Mitch could, I think, keep him afloat.
Yeah. Rudy, what other teams do you think are in the conversation to taking quarterbacks? Do you think
Falcons?
I think so too, and I think that that's another thing that's getting overlooked a little. And I don't know. I just don't know what Carolina's plan is. They must either be thinking we can trade down and try to get back a second round, or I don't know what the ordeal is, but I don't think the intention is to be all happy that Sam Darnold is our starting guy. And then again with Seattle, but Seattle's in a little bit better of a place because I think they could probably grab whoever kind of crumbles to them there in the second round, whether it's a Sam Howell or whoever it may be. But I think the Lions too at 32 are very, very interesting.
Oh yeah, I fully expect the Lions to take a QB there if they didn't earlier, or someone trades up to 31 and takes it in front of them if they know that Detroit's leaning that way. But I think the Falcons are one. As much as I hate to say it, the Giants are one if they don't pick up Daniel Jones' option.
Well, I bet that the Eagles are going to trade up to 1 so that they can take a quarterback.
All right. Well, that was just unnecessary. I was just trying to be curious here. And yeah, if we trade up to one drafted quarterback, knowing how well we do with draft picks, we probably end up with Carson Strong or something like that. To be honest,
do you think you guys would trade up to get a wide receiver?
No, I think we trade up to get a defensive end.
Interesting.
Or Kyle Hamilton. Those are the only two things I think we trade up for.
Watch the Cowboys trade up to get Treylon Burks, which is hilarious because they probably could just stay put.
Oh, Jones would trade the entire draft for Burks. He wants him so bad, it's not even funny.
Who? Jones?
Jerry Jones.
He wants to sell jerseys.
Yeah, Arkansas boy in Dallas.
Yeah.
100%. He'd trade everything to get him. He would be.
This draft is going to be so good. There's going to be so much that happens. It's blows people out of the water. I feel I really don't think it's. Some people are no, it's just going to be. No, I think it's going to be a wild draft.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Hot Takes, brought to you by Everyday is Draft Day. We have about 1,000 shows going this week for Champions Run, so be sure to check out all of that. Check out all of our cool new Big Board Showdown drafts. Try to beat us in drafts, win some money. We got some 7 stakes. We got a bunch of stuff to keep you occupied during this busy week. So check out all of that.
Love it.
And be sure to tune in for a new show coming later tonight when I do my beat the champs draft. I'll be going over to try to draft and beat me. And
I have to join yours so I can kick your booty.
Yeah, there's 1 spot left, so go ahead and do that.
Oh, good. Perfect.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.
See ya. Happy draft week.